Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Hello, this is Kat Miller. It is Tuesday, June 7th, 2011, and I am here talking with Dane Kirby. Dane is our shaman, and he is here to continue telling us all about his experiences and things that can help you and me. And together we can learn and explore and find more. Dane, just very briefly, will you please tell people that haven't listened before what a shaman is?
Well, in my case, devastatingly good looking. But and really, I have to admit, I have to thank my parents for that. Okay, folks, I can't claim that one. No, actually, a shaman is a person that goes between or intercedes for people that come to them in the terms of whether it's some type of spiritual issue, any kind of issue they're having. Traditionally, you come to a shaman to intercede with the spirits, the powers that be, with your guardian spirits to do something for you, to help you make your life better, to get you in harmony with what's going on around you and what's going on within you. And that's basically it. Nothing fancy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun.
So basically, you're a healer, you're kind of a life coach, you're kind of spiritual, I wouldn't say guide, but more of a spiritual connection. There we go.
There you go. Well, it's like I tell people, you go to a foreign country, you go find the best tour guide you can get your hands on, the one that knows it all, the person that can take you to places you've never imagined, but you think they might exist. And that's really what I am. I am your spiritual tour guide, mental tour guide, able to teach you how to get better, and hopefully across the board. So that's really what I am, is like your super personal deluxe tour guide. I'm the deluxe edition with fine Corinthian leather. I'm showing my age with that one. So, yeah, really, that's what it is. People come to me because at some level they've misplaced a part of themselves, is actually a very accurate statement, or they're trying to connect with a part that should be there and they don't know where it is. And that's really what I love doing, is helping people get reconnected with themselves, or growing a part that they know should be there that they just don't seem to have, which actually is fairly common.
All right.
And especially in today's Zoom world.
Yes. The more we are familiar with, or the more we progress, the more conveniences we have, it seems the busier we are. And so, yeah, we do tend to lose our way. Last week, I wanted to recap a little bit of last week. Last week, right at the end, you asked me to do some homework, which
I
of
know.
course I didn't.
Sneaky, aren't I?
I didn't do it. I didn't take it as homework because before we were done with the podcast, it was there.
And here I had a doll with cat's hair all on it and ready to go with a few pins. Oh, well. Next time.
But it was so fascinating. And if anyone who listens to today's podcast didn't listen to last time's episode 13, you might want to go there and listen at least to the last little bit of it, because that's where this all went. He gave me a homework, and before the podcast was done, I had this done. And what was the homework? Do you recall?
Oh, now you're asking me the trick question. No, it had to do with, we ended up talking about butterflies.
Yes, we did. What he asked was about the generation gap, about communication, and about being comfortable with those in their later decades talking with the younger generation and actually being able to communicate and understand each other. And the switch phrase that I came up for that was adjust, crystal, butterfly. And what that switch phrase means, and I went ahead now and defined it, what the switch phrase means is handle uncomfortable or unpleasant conditions, clarify the situation, Shed old beliefs that no longer serve you, allowing you to smoothly transition as we journey through life and transform from seeing life as a mundane daily drudge to soaring to new heights and gaining a wider perspective. And for me, that is about adapting to the ever-changing environment and culture in life. Use it to help close the generation gap, to help seniors understand and interact with youngsters. Did I do good?
Oh, you did great, darling, but I would expect that of you. You're just naturally wonderful, you know. Yeah, and that's the cool thing. That's why we do these talks, because I get to find out cool things that you teach me and teach the rest of us, and, you know, vice versa. I get to throw some good things out there, and you go, cool. You haven't grumbled too much yet. So.
Oh, I don't like to grumble. My preference is to enjoy, flow, bubble.
There you go.
Now, after our talkcast, actually, before this talkcast, actually, was this morning, I went through and I reviewed the animal wisdom of the butterfly because I read that last week, and when I read it, I thought, you know, this is really quite compact. There's not a lot of information here. I would like to expand on it, so I did. And I'm going to read the renewed butterfly wisdom here. Butterfly, the power of the whirlwind, reincarnation. Butterflies teach us that transformation and growth do not need to be traumatic. They can occur gently, sweetly, and joyfully. Butterflies remind us to stop and enjoy the moment, revel in the sweet nectar of the now. Transmutation, magic. The butterfly shows us the dance of joy. Butterflies bring color to our lives. And the butterfly is a symbol of the soul in rebirth. Use butterfly wisdom to transform life situations. Use butterfly wisdom to bring dance, joy, and colorful beauty into your life. Use butterfly wisdom to aid you in achieving depths of inner and outer exploration far beyond the ordinary. And use butterfly wisdom to help you attain the highest levels of enlightenment. What do you think? Did I do good?
Oh, that's totally wonderful. That's just beautiful. I was sitting here letting the words just flow through the ears and just going with the images as you were saying that. And just the rebirth and the beauty. And truthfully, anybody that listens to this, have you ever seen a butterfly flittering along and it just didn't cause you to stop and go, wow, that's beautiful, or that's cool, or you know, just that image. Just a butterfly flittering along. It's beautiful. We have in the part of Michigan I'm in right now, we have a bunch of buttery white butterflies that they're like a creamy white with just depending on the light, kind of a tint of yellow or a tint of green to them. And they're not a big butterfly. They're a small butterfly, but they're just so wonderfully beautiful. And when the honeysuckle's blooming around here, you'll see them on the honeysuckle and they blend in with it. And then all of a sudden you see the honeysuckle, you think, fluttering away as they move around. And just a gorgeous little butterfly. And it's just a creamy little white butterfly. Nothing super fancy, not a million colors. But it's just going about its day. Seems like, you know, not really concerned about anything other than being. And that's everything you just said.
Totally awesome. Love it when something comes up that has me find a new, or not a new, but define more deeply an animal wisdom. That's awesome when that happens.
That's stunning. And again, the way you go about defining animal wisdom is different than the way most people do it. And I have to admit, I am completely attracted to your way.
Cool.
It's just a much smoother, usable, loving form of it. And again, you show people beautiful, quick ways on how to tap into it for like a momentary use of whatever that animal is. So for a moment, you get to wear that animal's skin, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's just a stunningly beautiful thing. And the nice thing about it is it's not the hard way. And it's not some in-depth, intense training way, well, like I grew up with, to be Shaman Dane. But most people don't need to be a shaman, don't want to be. It's not their calling in life. They just want to be people enjoying their lives. So you've given them a beautiful avenue with how you're set up on how to tap into it when they can use it. Or when it can use them, actually. And we know how that works, don't we, Kat?
Yes, we do.
And that's one of the things I truly love about the way you've set up your animal wisdom. And you've given people, and this was before you and I ever met, you had done all this.
Yes.
So again, I say to the world out there, yes, Kat is Shaman Kat, Kitty Shaman, however you want to do it. She's just doing it in her way. And,
we all have our ways.
Yeah,
we all have
and it's beautiful. And look at it this way. Look at how things have changed and evolved with our talks. We were fighting for, the first 12, 13 of these that there was always some kind of equipment problem. Originally, my system wouldn't even let me log into TalkShoe. We fixed all that, and then it came down to, here I was on a headset that works beautifully for all kinds of studio work that I do, but I couldn't hear you on the headset. I had to hear you on the regular speakers with one ear off my ears, and we just kept at it. We kept using different switch phrases. I did some long magic, and here we are tonight that everything's working beautifully. And truthfully, this is probably the very first time that's happened. We have no technical issues. So, folks, that means it took us, there's 13 of them, but we know there's actually 12 because of that one missed number. That took us 12 weeks, but it got sorted out because we knew it would. And we just let it go with whatever issues that may have been. We just let the universe take care of it for us. And here we are now, and it's great. Speaking of, how's the microphone working? Is the voice loud, quiet?
Everything is smooth. Everything is very smooth. You are coming in very clearly, and I don't have any feedback, and so it's perfect.
Yeah,
totally
so
perfect.
We're living proof, folks. Keep at it. Yeah. Enjoy it. Have fun with it, though. And look, life can be really, really serious. It can be painful. But even in the midst of really deep pain, sorrow, fear, that's when you find butterflies. That's when things can change. Now, don't go into fear just to find change. I don't recommend that. I'm just saying that when you are in those moments, let it happen that there's something there that can take you out of that moment so that you are, fear less, happier, that kind of thing. And that's what it's all about. And at some level, I'm going to say it, Kat, from my perspective, something really was in the way of us. And I know you had to fight to get me to start doing this, the public talkcast, because you know me well enough to know that this was not how I go about it. And at some level, I was like, oh, man, getting out here like this, well, yeah, okay, sure. It's for the people. But at some level, within me, there was still a case of, oh, man, here I am out doing podcasts every week, and it just wasn't my habit. And now it's become my habit, and I'm loving it. And we're living proof of that, folks. Let somebody else get you to a better place if you're having trouble getting there. It's okay to get somebody to help you. It's okay to accept somebody coming up saying, hey, this is beautiful, this is you, let's do it.
How about this? And I'm talking about everybody, that just how good it feels to help somebody else, what it does for you when you help somebody else, and when they see the light, and when they get the aha, and when they get it, when they get whatever it is, you know how good it feels to you to give like that. So what is it that stops you from allowing others to have that feeling too when they help you? Are you really that stingy that you think you're the only one that has the right to help others and to have that feeling, that no one else deserves to have that feeling for helping you? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Back up. You don't feel that way, do you? No. You just feel like you're putting others out. But do you feel put out when you help others? No. You are putting out the energy that you are putting them out by asking for their help. It doesn't mean that you're putting them out. Remember, you generally know how someone else feels about something by the feel you get when you experience the other side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're social. It's human.
Oh,
to
man.
Want.
You mean we might actually like other people and they might like us? Ooh, big thought there, Kat. Careful, people might actually start liking these talks. Like, ooh, that sounds fun, you know?
We like to help, so can't we also offer others the ability to help?
Mm-hmm. And that is the universe. Give and take in a form of balance. So how many of you have somebody help you out and it's embarrassed you and you're like, oh, no, I can do that. Or, oh, yeah, no problem. Or you help somebody else out, and how do you feel when they say, oh, yeah, that was nothing? Well, no, you helped me out. To me, that was something, even though it can be a cultural, turn of phrase instead of you're welcome, that was nothing. Well, to me, it was something. So I always tell people, oh, you're quite welcome. I was glad to, that kind of thing. So it is a give and take. There are times when I would do work for folks that they loved every second of it. They're like, oh, that was fantastic. Thank you. And it's like, no worries. And they said, well, here, let me pay you. And at that time, I was like, no, I can't accept pay because of where I'm at in life. And I was doing them an incredible disservice because now I was not allowing the exchange of energy. And look, it could have been a chicken. It didn't matter. Cash, chicken, charge, whatever, But where I was at that moment in life was, oh, I can't because I'm not supposed to. And that's how I was trained and taught at that time. Well, that was doing a serious disservice to the other person because now they could not participate in the exchange and create a cycle or a full, complete circle. And I had to learn that I had to evolve. And yes, my time is worth money. Yes, I have a family to feed myself. And money was the accepted medium or trade in some cases, things like that. Matter of fact, Kat, you may know this. What's the you can do barter time. Like you get a credit per hour and you can exchange the barter. It's all over the country. Actually, it's all over the world. There are different communities that you can look it up online. And, now I have homework. Next week I'll make sure I know exactly what the name is. But everybody's time is equal. So, and I understand there are even doctors that participate in this, dentists, things like that, plumbers, whatever. And so I've actually been looking into that because there are times cash is neat, but there are other times that I'd rather have somebody paint my house, And so literally, a painter can get hooked up with me, even though they may not need anything at the shamanic end that I have or any of the hypnosis work. But literally, we can exchange time or credits in the time bank. That's what it is, time banking. There we go. It's called time banking. And think of how beautiful that is. Now it's not all about money. Now it's one human being having the ability to help another human being, but the thing they have in common has nothing to do with the exchange they're making. And I just love that. That is, to me, that's outside the box. And anything that I can do that's outside the box, I'm always happy about.
Well, you see, that's the way, before money became the medium of exchange, it was always bartering. It was always, I have this, you give me that. I'll give you this, you give me that. That's the way that it worked. Is there was no money exchange, and when the concept of money came in, bankers were right there, because there's always an excess of need for money beyond the money that's available in an exchange. Like a farmer could borrow money against futures of their crops to be able to afford to plant their fields. And then...
That's a rough one, because you're already starting with a negative. That's rough. Wow.
Yeah, and then when the crops came in, they could pay back money that they had borrowed, but then there was interest too. And the way that the banks basically began working was there's always a deficit in there that winds up with a positive in their favor, and the people that owe. And so that's basically the way that the money exchange system works, is we always have to pay more than what we borrowed.
Yep, and that's a rough one. And of all things, the one person I never expected, as I've said before, I have a library of books that are, well, in some cases, hundreds of years old. The majority of the books I read are at least 100 years old. Again, if you don't know your history, you're in trouble. It's that simple. So I was reading somebody, I never expected to read his work, because the general consensus is shyster, Shylock, peeled the masses, separated them from their money, etc., etc. And then I ran across one of his smaller books with some other stuff I had gotten a deal on, and it was just part of it. And I read the thing. I mean, we're talking, well, for me, not even a 20-minute read. And when it was all said and done, I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. And he said, one of the very worst things you can do to yourself, especially as a young person, is to get credit. He said, because now you're starting behind the rock. You're under it. And he said, it's the time of getting around the rock. You spend so much effort doing that suddenly you've lost your goal, your dream. Suddenly, let's say if you're an artist, it's no longer fun. Now it's a business. Whereas when you were doing your art as an artist, money was flowing freely. That kind of thing. And he just went on and explained it in great detail of why it can rob you of your vitality, et cetera, et cetera. And of all things, this was P.T. Barnum. And I mean, he's considered the great, like he'd fleece anybody of a dime. There's a sucker born every minute. The man knew his stuff. And he literally taught a series of business books, and this was one of them. And I said, wow, that's smart. That's quite accurate. Because I remember when I had no credit card debt when I was younger. It's amazing how flexible my life was. And then over the years, I acquired debt. Oh, man, all of a sudden, there was a weight. Then I got rid of it, and it's like, wow, I'm like a teenager again. I'm able to be free or freer. Because it's just another form of the box. And personally, the only thing that I think should never, ever think outside the box is my cat and the litter box. Everybody else, you're human. Don't waste time with the box, okay? And everybody can think outside the box in their own way. That's what's so cool. And that's what makes it so fun being human.
Indeed. Now, that reminds me of Thomas Edison, the switch word that that was defined just a week or so ago. That's a switch word for helping you to do that, to think outside the box. Thomas Edison is about, let me see, do a quick look at it here. Thomas Edison, be inventive, create new ideas. That's it, to create new ideas. That's totally outside the box, something that's never been thought of before. That is what he was all about. And so totally cool. Now, Dane, last week we talked about the love, find, count together. And now you've had a little over a week, probably 2 weeks or close to 2 weeks of working with that Switchphrase. You have some fascinating experiences with it, and I'd love to hear you tell everybody what's been going on.
Sure. We originally the Switchphrase was find count with what they call the money mudra. Oh, Kat, I didn't do my homework. I was going to put an image up on the website. I'm sorry, everybody. I just realized that. I am writing that down as we speak. Dane, money mudra image for everybody. Wow.
No,
okay. See,
Dane,
I just learned. Yes.
If you will send the image to me, I will put it up on Blue Iris and give you the link to it. And if I give you the link to it, you can link it in a note on the forum. And what I'll do, what I've been doing on the forum is I have been putting summaries of each of the talkcasts on there. And you can just go to, I believe it was episode 13, and you can add a reply on that. And I'll give you the link that I put the image up on. So just send me the image. I'll do that. And
okay, excellent. I'll take care of that tonight.
Okay.
So, see, I didn't do my homework either, Kat. So it came down to I had started doing some research on this because it is such an issue. And you and I had been talking about a thing you had written on the website about lottery. We were talking about that, how people can get so wrapped up into the lottery is God for them. You know what I mean? It's going to save their life. And that's what it had all stemmed from. So I got out there doing some research and found the find count. And of course find as in find the right venue, avenue is how it is to me. And then count is always money because you're always counting your money. Easy enough. Subconscious gets that. And I had realized that, well, you know, find count's nice. I like it, but it's incomplete for me. So I said, well, what would really make it complete? And, well, there's the ultimate universal switch word, together. I said, oh, wow, I like that. Find, count, together. Now, this encompasses not just myself and my wife, but my website, motivationmatrix.com, other people that I can help in ways that I know I would love to help. It will get to them in ways I would never have expected, and vice versa, people that would like to help me grow things and do more to help other people. So I said, oh, this is great. Went to sleep that night with the phrase. I set it up as a rotating chain. It's something you can do in hypnosis, so that it was working even while I was asleep. And I kept waking up all night going, oh man, what is going on here? I keep wanting to say something with a an L in front of it instead of find, count, together. I keep wanting to say something, find, count, together. Well, that morning I got up after no sleep and said, okay, this is ridiculous. I know better than this. What is it? And just as plain as could be, it said love. I said, wow. And I said, well, now that makes sense for me because I was raised in the poor healer vein of existence. You know, that money is just one of those dirty things that you get when you need it. And I have always been fortunate that way in my life. It showed up when I needed it, kind of thing. And so I said, okay, so be it. Love, find, count, together. Perfect. Happy as can be, loving it. My wife's happy with it, so we use it. And it wasn't even the next day. A situation opened up for me that the next thing I know, a lot of extra money is coming in for something I never would have dreamed of. And, you know, I guess if you were to work it out hourly, let's say like a $50 an hour thing. Yeah, that'd be about right, I guess. Works out to about $50 an hour. I didn't expect. And it's good for, you know, like say 30 hours or so a month seems to be what it's worked out to so far. Now, think about that. That's money I did not expect, and it went, "Hi, how you doing?" Cool. So here was this whole unexpected avenue. Then Carrie ended up with jobs that she also freelances as a graphic designer, but she hadn't been doing anything in that venue for a while. She'd been concentrating on other things. The next thing we know, in a direction that has never happened before, people came to her and said, "Look, we need you to come in. Here you go." Well, she's $75 an hour. The next thing she knows, she has a huge amount of money stacking up. And we're like, "This is great." And these people were more than happy to pay her because her work is incredible. But it came from a direction that just was not something we ever would have expected to happen. So we were very thankful for that too, of course. And that's the other thing, folks. When these things happen, be grateful. Be thankful. Say, "Hey, universe, thanks. You heard me." Talk to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, "Hey, self, thanks. Thanks for allowing me to communicate with myself and the universe so these things can happen, for allowing the space to grow to fill it with these things." Make sure you do that, okay? Always. And then a funny thing, Carrie had a pair of Oakley sunglasses that the weld had cracked on them. Now, Oakley is a fantastic company that if it breaks, send it back. They'll fix it. They don't care that it was, well, it's been 3 years since she bought them. She got them at REI Sports, and so they said, "Sure, bring them in." And they said, "Would you like to trade them with something here? Any other Oakleys? We'll do that, whatever you want to do." And there really wasn't anything that fit. And here's the funny thing you're going to like, Kat. She had lost her other 2 pairs of cheapy sunglasses, and she was realizing she no longer wants to wear sunglasses. And we can get into a whole thing on that later, but you know what I'm talking about right now, Kat.
Mm-hmm.
The whole no more sunglasses thing. And I was stunned because she's worn sunglasses forever. I was like, "All right." And they said, "Well, look, why don't we just give you cash?" She's like, "You can do that?" And she's like, "Well, yes, we can do that. Here you go." So she walks out the door with a quick $150 in unexpected cash. I mean, this came out of nowhere. So also, folks, I'll tell you right now, REI Sporting Goods, deal with them. They're great people, and they will take care of you. So there's my unofficial plug for them. And then on top of that, again, in a direction we did not expect, we got a gift that was handed to us in the tune of $3,200 and change. So, and also, folks, you'll notice I'm saying exact money amounts. Most people say, "Oh, I got this money that was given to me by this person and the relative." Hey, forget that. I'm telling you exactly what happened. By the time it's all said and done, it totaled out to about $4,500, just under, in totally unexpected income in the last 2 weeks.
Sweet. Isn't that awesome?
And that is like, and for me, that is amazing just because it's, oh, and this isn't counting the website or anything, okay? This is just, holy crap, we did not expect this category. Mm-hmm. This has nothing to do with the website or anything like that. I'd never even thought of the website when I did the phrase, by the way. And I realized, though, that something has happened with that the website is getting a complete changeover. It's going to involve butterflies on it. It's going to involve a much lighter, happier note that goes along with the material on there, with the peace and power, with the toss to spare. And I said, "Oh, this is really amazing." So it has come around beautifully. But yeah, folks, I mean, that was a total shock, this gift. But it only happened because we sat down and told the universe, "Here's where we're headed. Here's what we want. Thank you." And it's that simple, and that's what switch words operate as. I don't know, here, Kat. I mean, you might drive your standard shaman such as myself out of business with these switch words here. But
you
folks,
have an advantage.
really,
You've got the switch words.
Yeah, really. You can put extra steam on them, yeah, and polish them. But really, folks, this is stunning. I know ways to go out there and cause things to happen. But this was incredibly simple, joyous, happy, and a heck of a lot of fun. And suddenly, my website, when I change it all around here over the next couple weeks, is going to have butterflies on it. Go figure. Hey, what the heck? And so, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, like, wow. And all this unexpected, yay. Now, of course, my accountant, I have to keep track of it for him to make him happy, so. And, and now he's happy. And if you can make your accountant happy, you have to do it, folks. It seems to be just one of those universal laws. Keep your accountant happy, and life goes good.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was just amazing. But the whole thing also about Carrie getting rid of sunglasses. And you know me, Kat.
Want me to talk about the sunglasses?
Yeah, if you would, because I am so non-sunglasses person. And yeah, go for it.
Okay, sunglasses. What do? They make your eyes more sensitive to light, more sensitive to sun. Did you know that wearing sunglasses outside in the sunlight one time takes about 2 weeks for your eyes to recover, to lose that sensitivity to the sunlight that was caused by wearing the sunglasses? You got it. That makes for very sensitive eyes. So, yeah, if you've got sensitive eyes and you need to wear sunglasses, that's because you've been wearing sunglasses.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny, I had told Carrie this over the years, but she was like raised on sunglasses are the best thing in the world. And, sunscreen too. And I'm like, oh, no, we won't even go there. But so for her to, out of the blue, this was entirely her choice. I hadn't said a word about sunglasses to her in years. And she's like, wow, I can't find my sunglasses. Can't find my cheapy ones. Can't find my cheapy ones. My expensive ones are broken. And she sat there and she came home and said, hey, I've got some fun money. I said, what do you mean? And that's when she told me about getting the money for the glasses. And I said, that's really cool. And she said, well, you know, I decided, hey, the universe is trying to tell me something important. That it's time to strengthen my eyes and strengthen my view of the world without putting something between me and the world. I don't need that protection. I don't need that. She said for her, it was a disservice to wear them is what she realized. And I said, oh, cool. You know, as I'm like, you know, trying not to make sure I don't say anything like a good husband. And no, I was floored. I was like, wow. And she was just happy as could be. She's like, and look at this. For getting rid of what she realized for her was a crutch, she actually got paid for it.
Isn't that awesome? Totally amazing. Totally amazing. Each in their own time. But really, truly, there are so many gotchas out there in our world. If it's something that you need for the rest of your life, you can bet that's for consumerism. It is because the company that's offering it to you wants you to use it as a crutch. And so when you realize that and you decide, you know what, I don't want that, I don't need that, then you're on the road to making a positive change for yourself. That's what the medical community, though most doctors go into practice with the intention of helping people, they have blinders put on them to where all that they see generally is what the pharmaceutical companies want them to see. The pharmaceutical companies actually set up symposiums and are made responsible for continuing education. Pharmaceutical companies and companies that supply things to the medical community, such as surgical instruments, such as your knee replacement, hip replacement, things that are used in surgery, all of those, these companies actually pay for and are responsible for the continuing education that the medical doctors get. No wonder
sorry about that.
We go that direction. Yeah, no wonder we're pushing.
With what you're saying, oh, please. Okay, let me close that. Sorry. Close current tab. It's something I was looking up for you to go with what you were saying. A friend of mine over at functionalhandstrength.com or oldtimestrongman.com, and he's not a TV watcher, okay, by any stretch. His name's John Wood. He's an amazing strength person, inner and outer. And he started posting on his website that Jamie Oliver, the English chef, he's in America doing the food revolution. It's his series now. and he's in the Los Angeles School District. And it's about the uphill, beat your head against the wall battle that he is having with the LA School District. They won't even let him in their kitchens to see their food. And all he's wanting to do is show them how to make healthy, wonderful food for the kids. They make 650,000 meals a day. And it's just stunning to see what actually is in the food. Well, even that most of us eat. He also goes through and helps. He works with a gentleman that his family's fast food restaurant's been in business since the 70s. It's just stunning, the entrenched ideas that are out there. And all he's doing is saying, look, I can prove it to you. It's far healthier food. It's pretty much the same cost, but no diabetes. No food-related diabetes from your diet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're talking, he's dealing with a community where 10-year-olds are getting diabetes because of the diet. And he just is like, hey, come on, school district, let's talk. And they are doing everything they can to squash him like a bug for doing the right thing.
Isn't it crazy? And it's all about consumerism, where the money is.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend if people take a watch on it. And actually, if you go to John Wood's site, functionalhandstrength.com, he actually has them on there, which I've never seen him do this. This is amazing. But he got it off of, he linked it through Hulu. So you can watch it for free on Hulu if you'd like. And yeah, Kat, you'd love it too. It's just amazing for something that's really, to me, seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, what we're dealing with is there are so many chronic illnesses out there, and a lot of illness is related to diet. And if we massively change our diets, we can massively change our dependence on pharmaceuticals and such. And those patients are lost. Those are lifelong patients. And diabetic is a lifelong patient. They have to see their MDs every 6 months or more often. They are on insulin or oral diabetics. They are a chronic source of income. Same thing with any other chronic illness, depression, for some insomnia, arthritis, any illness that is a chronic thing means chronic money. And there are so many industries that really depend on that. And so there is not a lot of incentive in the way our economy is currently set up for supporting healthy lifestyles.
Right.
It becomes a real uphill battle because those in power at this point in time can't see how they can make money out of that. So that's basically where it stands.
And like you're saying also, and it's been proven. This isn't just us talking. Folks, get out there and do your own research. It's been proven over and over and over about food-related or diet-related illnesses. How stress is 90. What was the latest thing I've seen out of the National Institute of Health? 96% of all illnesses, or they believe, have some stress component to them. Folks, do your own research. Don't just believe what we're saying. Go find out for yourself. Because you may find out in doing that research and finding things out for yourself, you have a cause that you believe in and you want to do something about. And when a human steps up and starts doing something, it's an amazing world. And you'll find out your own stress levels go down, because even though you're taking on a different kind of stress, eustress, yay, it's a good stress. It's a positive stress that causes you to grow, instead of the kind of stress that crushes your spirit and your body. Go for it. Start checking into things and find something, even if it's just a hobby for you, to help out and do something like that. Be sure you're having fun doing something you believe in. And really that comes down to, the main reason I'm here talking with Kat. folks. Find what you believe in, even if it's just believing in yourself, and do something with it. Do something constructive and uplifting with it, and enjoy doing it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now, Kat. Thank you.
Dane, I want to leave with one thing, and I put this on Cat Thoughts. It was really kind of interesting. I ran across it the other day. It was actually, I was surprised at where I originally found it was on one of my nieces, my husband's brother's daughter, Facebook account. She had this listed on something, and I tried to research and find where it originated, and I have no idea who the author is, but it so completely aligns with the way I look at things. And so I kind of wanted to leave this podcast with these thoughts, and it's on what's so. What's so is always just about what's so. What's so doesn't care what you think, feel, intend, or wish. It will not bend. You can be freaked out or driven over what's so, and it won't change what's so. If you're late for an appointment, getting freaked out about it won't have you arrive any earlier. If you're having a bad day, being freaked out won't change what's so. That which you seek will not bring you satisfaction. Aligning with what's so will. When you're upset, you're never upset over what's so. What is so is just what is so, and you are upset. If your house burns down and you get upset, doesn't bring your house back. What's so doesn't care if you're upset. It's up to you how you handle what's so. There is no confusion in what's so. When you don't know, you just don't know. There is no confusion there. There's nothing right or wrong about what's so. What's so is always open to different interpretations. There's always just what's so, and then you have an interpretation. What scares you isn't what's so, it's your interpretation. The interpretation is never true. What's so is real. The interpretation is not. Who you're being is just who you're being. And what's so doesn't care if you're happy with it or not. So why should you? When you are not being with what's so, that's also just what's so. So why should you concern yourself? Other people should always be the way they're being. If you think they shouldn't, that's your interpretation. Bring yourself back to what's so about them. Until you can be with what's so, you can't be with anything or anyone. You may have control over other people's what's so, but none over their interpretation. So give it up. If you take action or not, it's still just what's so. If it works out well or not, it's still just what's so. You can never make a right or wrong decision or take a right or wrong action. Whatever you do will always bring you more of what's so, and then you will have an interpretation about it. What you don't have, or whatever you don't have, so what? Whatever you've done or thought in the past, again, so what? Whatever happens in the future is not to be feared. It's just going to be more of what's so. The challenge is to spend as much time in what's so as you can. The chatter in your head is more interpretation, and it has nothing to do with what's so. There's nothing wrong with the chatter. It's just you listening to a fantasy. The thought that there is something wrong is an illusion. There is nothing wrong. There is only what's so. Notice when you're comparing what's so to some fantasy of how it should be. Bring yourself back to what's so, and it will be okay. Ask yourself, what's so? And align with that. Align with what's so, and it will not matter. That is the foundation of transformation and satisfaction. Not aligning with what's so is the only thing that will ever bring you hardship or suffering. Life in what's so will bring you harmony, grace, and balance. Ask yourself, what's so about your situation. And then, of course, Kat added, be now. Switchphrase. Got to put them in there at the end. Now, isn't that a cool note, essay?
Okay, my first question for you then, since I have to play shaman's advocate here, is what about change? If you know that something that is so, what's so is wrong.
Well, see, the thing is, what's so is what's so right now. What's so in the future is what comes in the future. When you accept where things are right now, you can empty the chalkboard. There's a clearing. There's nothing else. There's only what's so. And you can move into the future. You have a clearing to work with because everything's at zero.
Cool. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes,
that's
cool.
what I don't know that folks would have understand. That's what you were saying with that. Because on the surface, unfortunately, unless you really pay attention to what you were saying, it's kind of fatalistic. But once you pay attention to what you were saying, it's telling you that once you understand why, let's say, this person is this person, now you're in harmony with them. Now there is a space to work with, from, be in. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. That's not the issue, because it's what's so. But it is a common ground. Yeah.
You've got to accept what's so. If you don't accept what's so, how can you move forward? If you are refusing to tell the taxi where to come to pick you up, and you just want the taxi to take you to the airport, how on earth are you going to get to the airport? I am not going to tell you where I am. Just come and pick me up. I'm sorry, sir. I don't have a connection to your GPS on your cell phone. I do not know where you are. The taxi will not come and pick you up if you do not accept where you are and tell them and admit that you are where you are. Same thing. Exactly the same thing. You got to accept where you are. You've got to accept what is so. And once you accept what is so, then the world opens up to you.
See, I'm so looking forward to emails off of this one. This one's great. Good way to finish it out tonight, dear. Love it.
Yes. Well, we shall talk to you next week, and I trust that everybody has enjoyed this podcast. Have a marvelous week.
Sounds good.
And let's see. We want to adjust Crystal Butterfly and Love, Find, Count Together. Those are the two powerful, fun switch phrases we've coined in the last couple of weeks. So, enjoy.
Works for me, and it works for everybody else too, folks. Enjoy it.